President Trump has just made one of the biggest statements ever that's going to change everything. He has come out and said when it comes to federal benefits, we are going to have to make everybody reapply because so much fraud has been caught. And the first program that they're going after is going to be SNAP. Guys, this is going to change everything. And the reason being, they're going to have more stringent measures to make sure that, number one, only citizens are receiving benefits. Number two, if you are able-bodied, you are not going to be getting any additional federal benefits, especially the enhanced benefits, guys. This is the first program that's going. The next program is Medicaid, and then they're going to go with Medicare to make sure that there's no more fraud and wasteful spending. If you appreciate this, guys, hit that thumbs up like button. This is what we voted for. They found 186,000 dead people on SNAP. They found 500,000 double dippers. This alone is billions and billions of dollars every year in wasteful, fraudulent spending. And the Trump administration said it is over. They're going to stop this. So by making every SNAP recipient reapply for the program to determine if they really need the benefits, this is going to cut and save billions and billions of dollars. Guys, this is nuts. And I told you, first is SNAP, then it's Medicaid, then it's Medicare. We have Dr. Oz, who is the secretary over dealing with all the not the healthcare, but dealing with fraud and waste and abuse within the system. He came out and said, we have some major flaws with the way that the COVID era subsidies were added to these programs. The problem with this approach was taken that it created incentivized for fraud. It incentivized fraud exponentially, and that's where we're at right now. Not only that, again, I had no idea this was even a part of the game, everybody, but this is massive. ICE, who we know has been going around and making sure that people were going to be taken off or that people were going to be deported, ICE has announced that they have been completing an operation to conduct welfare checks on 450,000 unaccompanied minors and that Biden placed with unvetted sponsors. They have found that some of these sponsors have sex trafficked, some of them were gang members, child abusers, and these were the people that these unaccompanied minors the Biden administration placed with. There's 450,000 of them. 24,000 have been recovered thus far, and not only that, the welfare checks that were given to these unvetted sponsors are being pulled back as well. Guys, is this not the deepest slush fund of dark, horrible, wasteful money? We also have it where, again, wasteful money. Judicial Watch, led by Tom Fitton, has uncovered 5,789 pages showing Michigan's Attorney General coordinated with Norm Eisen's state's United NGO. We all know how we feel about NGOs, to target Trump electors and attorneys across multiple states. There you go again, our own tax dollars and tax money being used to target our president of the United States and his cabinet team. You can't make this stuff up, guys. This is what we're going to show you today. We've got the receipts. We also have it where, again, a DMV supervisor in New York wore disguises to take driving tests for illegal migrants and help them to get their driver's licenses, resulting in them being able to get benefits. Do you see the scheme, guys? None of this happens. None of this is found unless we investigate. And again, an activist Obama judge has blocked President Trump's request to release the Jeffrey Epstein grand jury documents. So I don't want to hear it, anybody. Trump's trying to release the documents. An activist judge has blocked it. What is there to hide? What is Trump trying to hide, okay? A activist judge from a Democratic leader blocked Trump trying to release all the grand jury documents. So again, so much is going on today, guys. Marjorie Taylor Greene fighting Trump. We've got SNAP, Medicare, Medicaid, all going to be reevaluated. Everybody's going to have to reapply. Big news today. We've got it for you guys. Big show. I want to say thank you to everybody who is watching. If you're not subscribed yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button, joining our family so that we can take care of you every day with the breaking news. I'm telling you, This is nuts, everybody. You can't make this stuff up of how crazy the fraud is and the waste and abuse is. I want to give some special love to those that have given. Elaine Demeen, OG of the channel. Show Elaine some love in the chat. Such a special giver, as well as our boy, OG of the channel, Mr. Norby. Thank you so much. And our boy, Richard, who is PDX67. Chris Prez, OG of the channel. Both of them OG of the channel with the gifted memberships. Show Chris some love for gifting 5 True Life News memberships. So if you appreciate all this, guys, I'm telling you, big show today. If you don't mind doing a huge favor for us, hitting that thumbs up like button. The things that we're going to show you, it's all coordinated, like Trump's playing chess, and now the chess pieces are starting to be unveiled. He's been using ICE to do welfare checks to cut out the fraud, waste, and abuse. Now he's going to have everybody reapply for SNAP to cut out the fraud, waste, and abuse. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This is huge. Listen to this.
Now says that everyone who's on SNAP is going to have to reapply. Now, this happened, of course, when the government shut down and there was, the SNAP benefits were not getting out to the people.
For 42 million Americans.
For 42 million. Well, we
people
thought Americans.
Inside the country.
People is probably the better. Yep. People. And so Brooke Rollins, we had her on and we had a great conversation with her where she said, hey, listen, this whole SNAP benefits conversation around the shutdown has sort of pulled the curtain back, and people are seeing how many people are on SNAP that aren't actually citizens, and they're going to have to reapply. What do you make of this? I think it's very popular, especially if you go online and look at what people think. I think it's a popular initiative to say these benefits are for Americans. Is she going to be able to accomplish this? Is she going to have some legal challenges to it? What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm sure. You know, everything that comes from the Trump administration, I just track it and see how long it takes for it to land in the Supreme Court. So there are going to be legal challenges.
Right there.
But the thing is, most of these programs with SNAP are administered by the states, and a lot of the states do have verification programs where people have to update every 3 to 6 months or, really establish that they got some kind of need. But maybe she's proposing something at the federal level that would then have a federal component for, applying and proving that you actually need this. Because I think all of us are compassionate Americans. Like, we want our fellow Americans to get help when they need it. And we've all known people, if not our own families, that have walked through these periods of needing this kind of help. But Secretary Rollins also said that she found there were 186,000 checks or SNAP benefits going out to people who were dead. So if that's accurate, that's just kind of the tip of the iceberg, and there are other problems with the program too. So I think a lot of Americans would say, gosh, I didn't realize before we were having this conversation there were 42 million people on these benefits. Maybe it's, not such a bad idea.
Let me tell you this. I'm telling you, everybody, this stuff is coming out like never before. We are finding out that ICE has announced operations to conduct welfare checks on the 450,000 accompanied minors that Biden placed with unvetted sponsors. Many, we have found out, have been sex trafficked, gangbangers, child abusers. Don't forget, everybody, this is what happened under the Biden administration. When Texas was trying to protect and not allow an invasion, the dang Biden administration sent a huge truck to lift up the barbed wire and to allow all these people unvetted into our country, okay? So this is what we're fighting against right now. This is why a lot of people are saying, okay, we're going to have to do rechecks. We're going to have to make everybody reapply because there's no way that we can truly know for certain how many people are on there because it's all been gamed. It's all been messed up by the Biden administration over the past 4 years. Let me know your thoughts, guys. If you appreciate this, if you want this to happen, hit the thumbs up like button. Thank you so much for your support. Chris Prez with the gifted super chat. Let's go. Said, who thinks here that criminal protesters should not get stimulus checks? Hey, right here, brother. No more. If you have ever been paid to protest in America, guess what? You don't get a stimmy check. Thank you so much, Chris, for your support. Jim Barbato with the popcorn already. Let's go. Show Jim some love in the chat. Lori Rapier, thank you so much for your support. Said, thank you, Joe, for what you do. Hope you're feeling better. I'm feeling a lot better. Thank you so much for your support. Show Lori, Chris, and our boy Jim, OG of the channel, some love in the chat. And don't forget to show Chris and Richard some love for their gifted memberships. This right here, guys, I'm telling you, You cannot make this stuff up, that this is what happened in the United States of America. And so now what you're about to hear, okay, we just told you that they're going to force everybody to reapply for their benefits, okay? Now, the dang lefties are doubling down on the socialism aspect of it. You cannot make this stuff up, everybody. Listen to this.
Increasingly rabid base, well, they are on a political warpath. Now, this may be hard to believe, but the socialist base now seems to hate members of their own party, as AOC calls them, the old guard, more than President Trump. I know, sounds impossible. In fact, the Democratic Party's thought leader, AOC, the squad leader, is now suddenly very complimentary of MAGA. Take a look.
I fully welcome Trump voters into our coalition. And I know that sounds crazy to some people, but just hear me out.
Sounds like somebody's going to be trying to run for president. Doesn't it sound like that? Maybe 2028?
I cannot tell you. It just happened to me like 2 weeks ago. I can't tell you how many times someone has pulled me aside and said either I was once a big Trump voter and a Trump supporter, and I watched Fox News every day, but then I started to kind of expand my world and where I got information, and now I've learned, and now I've changed, and I'm with you, and I learn from you.
I'd like to meet these people. I'd like to have a discussion with AOC.
Let me tell you this, everybody. I don't believe a word the left says, only because this came out from a left-wing media outlet yesterday. You cannot make up the lies, the defamation that comes from left-wing media outlets. Kash Patel hired deputy FBI director. They're talking about Dan Bongino with no background check and extraordinary vetting breach. Do you, you cannot make this stuff up, everybody. How horrible and how wrong these people are, and how far they're going to try and make up things to try to make our Trump dream team, cabinet team, look bad. Kash Patel hired a deputy FBI director with no background check. It was Dan Bongino. Are you even kidding me? This is what we're dealing with, guys. That's why I wanted to show you that. What they're saying, they're getting ready for a 2028 run. The lies are doubling down, and this is why we have to make sure that we are exposing them every single way we can.
Suddenly want borders to be wide open? Do they want higher taxes? Do they want defund, dismantle, no bail laws, reimagine the police with social workers? And by the way, there are now growing calls for AOC to launch a primary bid against Chucky Schumer in the Senate. And if she does, I can promise you she will win. Chuck Schumer's days are over. He's toast. He's persona non grata inside the Democratic Party. But I'm not sure if I'm quite fooled by AOC's kind words to Trump voters. I'm a bit skeptical. Put me in that camp. Now, Trump's loyal MAGA base is still very much hated by pretty much everyone in the Democratic Party. Don't kid yourself. They look down at Trump supporters. Remember, irredeemable deplorables, garbage people. They try to dehumanize them over and over again. So we're going to get an invitation now after how many years of being called racist, fascist, Nazi, Hitler, Stalin, Mussolini? Okay, I'm willing to listen. Here is Democratic rising star Jasmine Crockett, one of our favorite congresspeople.
Let me tell you this, everybody. Because a lot of people are asking in the chat about the overhaul that's coming. It's coming, everybody. And the two reasons are what I'm about to show you on the screen, because your boy brings the receipts. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins is going to make everybody reapply for SNAP. Number two reasons. They found 186,000 dead people receiving benefits and 500,000 recipients getting double benefits. This is out of only 29 red states, okay? 29 red states, meaning we still got 21 states that are red and blue, a lot of blue ones that we don't even know how bad the fraud is. That's where the first initiative has come. It's happening. It's official. They're going to catch so many people. The next overhaul that's coming next is having to do with Medicare, okay? This is big. So we already heard from Matthew Galletti, the head of the U.S. Department of Justice's Criminal Division. They found $14.6 billion in false claims with Medicare. They found Pakistani executives charged in Illinois for $703 million scheme using stolen Medicare data. The DOJ charged 324 defendants, including 96 licensed medical professionals, doctors, nurses, and pharmacists for Medicare fraud. All this is happening, and this is driving the overhaul that we knew needed to happen. And that's why, again, too, guys, we partnered with this company right here, Chapter. Because of the billions of fraud that is out there, you don't need to be cheated. This company will help you during this open enrollment time with Medicare. If you're on it, it's free. That's the best part. They have done so much for all of our members already. We had somebody who literally got an additional $1,000 in benefits from Medicare by using Chapter, and that was Pamela. We literally had David, who on this is a member of this channel, couldn't get any Medicare help whatsoever, didn't even have any health insurance. Call Chapter. They hooked him up with medical, dental, eye care, and prescriptions. We have Jeannie Wright, who literally is now saving $230 a month, $2,760 a year on this channel. Call the number 667-895-3015. They're going to get you taken care of. I'm so tired of seeing our seniors and Americans being cheated. No more. We want to see us win. You call them up, you tell them that Joel sent you from TrueLife News, guys, and I'm telling you, this is going to help you out. It's going to bless you. We have so many testimonials already, and I want to see more because that means you're winning, and it's free. Again, the link is in the description. The number is in the description of this video, but the number is 667-895-3015. You're going to get you taken care of because, again, the fraud is rampant. Listen to this.
The Democratic Party, but it gets worse. If you think Jasmine Crockett, AOC, maybe are a little out of touch, just wait until you meet the new crop of communists getting nominated and elected, and it's not just Mamdani, it's happening all over the country.
All over.
By now, we are very well acquainted with our friend Zoran, Marxist Kami Mamdani, but breaking this week, another devout socialist just knocked off a Democratic incumbent to be the next mayor of Seattle. 43-year-old professional activist Katie Wilson is still, by the way, according to reports, receiving financial support from mommy and daddy.
Wow.
But now she's about to take over one of
joke.
the biggest cities and the biggest budgets in the entire country. And
the budget for the Seattle is $9 billion. You can't manage your own finances and you're getting help from your parents and you want to go manage a $9 billion budget for a city? Guys, the only reason these people are even getting close to winning or are winning is because they're saying that they're going to give everything away for free.
in one of her first acts as mayor-elect, she said she was joined in a protest where she eagerly called on her fellow socialists to boycott one of the city's most successful businesses. You might have heard of it. Starbucks.
I am proud to join them on their picket line and proud to say loud and clear, I am not buying Starbucks and you should not either.
I don't know if I was the mayor of a city and Starbucks was one of the biggest businesses in my city. I don't know, is it really a good idea to run Starbucks out of Seattle? But socialists are world famous for bad ideas, driven by envy, spite, redistribution of wealth. They deplore success outside of their own circle. Their policies, we know, we've gone over this in detail. They are destructive by design. And their time in office is always marked by increased suffering, more poverty, chaos, disorder, crime, and a loss of freedom. Unfortunately, the old guard of the Democratic Party, they are too scared. They're scared to death to ever stand up to this radical base. In fact, look at this. According to Axios, top Democratic governors are now teaming up. Even Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, the guy they claim is supposed to be a moderate, busy, these days having pleasant chats with the anti-Semitic Marxist who will soon run New York City.
Let me tell you this, everybody. You think that we're not, because again, when you expose everybody, it's the good and the bad. And if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, guys, thank you so much for your support. What you're seeing on the screen now is, again, both sides have got a lot of issues. And this is just, I show you everything, everybody. I'm not partisan to, I'm only going to show you bad Democrat stuff. No, we've got a lot of rhinos on the Republican side. And right now they're clashing because remember how I told you that right now the Republicans put a stipulation in that continuing resolution that said that certain Senate Republicans could sue the DOJ for $500,000 apiece because they spied on their phones, okay? Well, now we're having a fight within the Republican Party because they're literally saying, wait, hold up. We know it was wrong. We know that the DOJ shouldn't have done it, but when you sue the DOJ, you're taking money from the taxpayer. The DOJ has no money. So what are y'all doing? Y'all are supposed to be the ones that are to be fiscally, financially responsible, but now you're trying to take $500,000 a piece from the taxpayer? Because that's where the DOJ gets its money from. And now the Republicans are clashing over the huge phone records provision that could enrich the senators. And I'm telling you guys, this is, again, $500,000 a piece. 10 GOP senators that are allowed now by law because it was passed to go after the DOJ to take more of the taxpayers' money. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, because I'm telling you, it's time and time again, we expose everything, and I don't care which side it's on. What I care is that Americans are being served in the best way possible. But this right here just shows you that there's some people in there, they only care about enriching their own pocket. Thomas Brewer, let's go, brother, with the super chat. I love it. Said, go, Joel. You bring the best of the bad news. Do the best for the unfortunate kids. Let's go, people. Joel needs help to do this. Brother, thank you so much for your kindness. 100% OG of the channel. Show Thomas some love in the chat. Show Jim Barbato and Richard for another gifted membership on the channel. Show them some love in the chat. We are exposing all these dang people, guys, and I'm sick and tired of it because, again, we've never had voices like we have now where people are seeing this information like never before. And again, what you're about to see next, this is huge, everybody. We are literally have so many people, so much money that is just focused on draining the swamp. Listen to this.
This first MAGA, I mean, we're trying to get H.1Bs and President Trump's focus on the economy again. But I think people are kind of missing the Democratic plot here. Help me, this happened during our morning show on MSNBC. And tell me what's going on in Georgia, because I guess you got a pardon in Arizona, but it's not really a pardon. I want people to understand that. But and maybe we replay this. They are talking about prosecuting the President of the United States on what they think is a live state charge by Fannie Wilson people, correct?
Yes, and that's what I had to verify with you while we were watching the clip, because it's so kind of mind-boggling. Donald Trump is still listed as a defendant. They're still indicating that they're proceeding forward. It's unclear to me at this point if they actually plan on prosecuting this case.
They plan on prosecuting it, don't they? Who can shut them down? It's a state case. Only the state attorney general. I don't even know if they
well, yeah, Carr. That's another one. I mean, Carr is a nightmare for the state of Georgia. But Peter Skandalakis is the executive director, I think, of the prosecutor council for the state of Georgia. He's the one that took this over. That indicates to me that there was no other sitting prosecutor who wanted to actually take this case. He took it on, apparently, because there was no district attorney or AG or anybody else that wanted to inherit this turd of a case. So he took it. There's a status conference hearing December 1st. The pleading that came out today, or the order that came out today, looked like the case could be proceeding forward. He's not really a sitting prosecutor, so there is a possibility that he put himself on the list to be able to file a motion to dismiss the case. So that's what I'm hoping happens. That's what should happen. I don't know where he will prosecute this out of. I mean, he'll have to kind of jerry-rig and create a team to do this. But
they would do that in a second.
They could.
Before the midterm, to get Trump in a trial next summer. Look, it's not going to happen.
Right.
But my point is, these are the type of fantasies they keep driving.
Right. And it was so unbelievable that as the clip was playing, I had to verify with you, like, am I hearing what I'm hearing? Because this is so bizarre that they would try to do this. But Yeah, there are other arguments to be made, though. And in the order that came out said, you've got to raise your motions now. Otherwise, I'm going to assume you don't have any. Like, I'm going to assume that we've heard everything that's going to be heard. There likely will be other motions raised.
And everybody, what they're talking about is this right here. The Michigan AG coordinated with NGOs to target Trump allies. That was a Judicial Watch attorney, okay? Do you realize that Michigan Attorney General literally used our tax dollars and worked with a Democratic NGO which uses our tax dollars to target Trump allies? 5,800 pages of FOIA records requested by Judicial Watch show that the AG worked closely with the state's United Democracy Center, founded by Norm Eisen, to push indictments against Trump electors, attorneys, and activists who challenged the 2020 election. Emails reveal multi-state strategies, shared action plans, and coordinated efforts to remove Trump from 2024 ballots, despite the Supreme Court rejecting the 14th Amendment theory. Right there, everybody. We are exposing it all. Like, this is the type of stuff that how many dang stupid left-wing media outlets said, oh no, it's not happening. There's no coordinated effort against Trump. There's no conspiracy side against Trump. He's just crazy. He is just mad because he lost. No, they have been fighting this dude behind the scenes using taxpayer dollars this entire time. Whew, man, I told y'all guys today's big. And this is just as big as this right here. Trump administration is making every SNAP recipient reapply for the program to determine if they really need the benefits. Okay? We are just dropping the bomb today.
Certainly.
The status conference in December, could it be dismissed then, or is that when he sets up the process to dismiss it?
Either way, it could be either way. And like I said, I don't really know what this prosecutor's going to do. I was surprised that it happened this way. I thought it would be dismissed by paper rather than having a hearing. So they may actually be trying to move forward on this.
If they have any possibility of keeping this thing in the public eye, they remember he tried to illegitimately steal the 2020 election, which we know is opposite.
Yeah.
Two things I want to get to because the Tina Peters, but particularly when I talk to people, explain to me the president's trying to be helpful here.
Yeah.
Todd Blanche and the team, Ed Martin, the pardons team, particularly with these electors. But everybody's like kind of leaning on their shovel now because it said, hey, all the electors got pardoned.
Right.
That has no bearing on this state case, correct?
Yeah,
I mean, in Arizona, and I guess is it in Michigan or what's it? They're going to go down in Georgia. They're going to go even harder here, are they not? Or try to?
Well, I mean, broad brush, I would say it doesn't really have any bearing on a state case. The president doesn't pardon state cases. That usually comes from the governor. That's kind of the traditional talking point on this. However, the argument to be made with the pardons, particularly in this Georgia case, is a little bit different. I mean, Michigan's already dismissed, so it doesn't really matter.
So is it Wisconsin and...
Wisconsin, Nevada, Arizona is still open, but our indictment has been thrown out. So, it's in the process.
Are you still burning up legal fees?
Oh, yeah. I mean, as long as the case is open, it's administratively it's open, but there's no valid charging document.
Is it Judge Trupas out of Wisconsin? He's going to be in studio.
Yeah, Trupas is fantastic. He's one of the defendants.
Trupas is coming to town. He's going to be in studio Tuesday, Wednesday. I want to get all the stories about these people because they've been tortured for a couple of years and spent an enormous amount of money.
100%. And Trupas actually in Wisconsin, prior to coming up with the alternate electors plan, he actually went to the attorney general and they had a meeting, a hearing, whatever. And he said, hey, we believe that we need to preserve the electors' votes. He went and told them, hey, this is what we're going to do. Said this to the attorney general. Let us know if you have any problems with it, because we believe that these steps need to be taken in order to preserve Donald Trump's ability to cast these votes later. And the attorney general approved it. He said, there was a memo somewhere floating around that's okay. There's nothing illegal about this. Go ahead and do it. And it was because the attorney general approved it that Trupas said, okay, this is what we're going to go forward and do. And then lo and behold, they turn around and indict Troopus and Mike Roman and Ken Chesborough. Not even the electors. I mean, the Wisconsin case reeks to high heaven. But back to the pardon issue, the way the pardons could actually impact the state cases, if you want to, go down that road, is kind of what they were talking about in the clip, that these are not actually state charges. These should be federal charges. It's a federal election. Federal law supersedes state law on this issue. And so the pardon, the bigger issue of what's actually being charged really is a federal, even though they're state charges, it is a federal offense. And so that pardon should apply to this case, to these state charges. It's an argument to be made. I don't know how anybody was going to raise it, but normally a federal pardon, a presidential pardon, wouldn't impact the state case, but there actually is an argument to be made here.
And why is that?
Because it's a federal election, and the heart of what they're doing is a federal election.
But then they would be admitting that they charge you illegitimately, because it's, I mean, is the people in Arizona, the people in Arizona are not going to agree with that.
Let me tell you this, everybody. The thing that we are learning, if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, the biggest thing that we're learning is that when it comes to these activist judges, when it comes to what's happened over the Biden administration, you can't believe a dang thing, okay? When a judge rejected Trump's administration request to release the Jeffrey Epstein grand jury documents, okay, this was back in August. They wanted to do it. And what if all the Democrats say Trump's trying to hide things? Who was trying to hide anything here? This is the evidence. This is from CNN Politics. I show you from different outlets, guys, the truth. Because when people say, well, you just doctor and make it so it fits your narrative. No, I'm showing you that even from a CNN Politics left-wing media outlet, they showed that judge rejected Trump's administration's request to release Epstein files. Okay? This is big. Sweetie Pie, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said, I think AOC is lying. She will say anything to stir people up 100%. And just because she speaks doesn't make it the truth. But I'm telling you what, guys, what you're about to see next, this right here is literally causing some of the biggest stirs ever. And this woman is going on every single media outlet and letting everybody know what's going on. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Now, exclusively for her first interview since the president cut ties. Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia, thank you so much for being here. As you just heard, and I know you saw, the president says he's withdrawing support for you, encouraging primary challengers. You were one of his biggest supporters. What do you think happened here?
Well, Dana, thank you for having me on, and that is true. I stood with President Trump when virtually no one else did. Campaigned all over the country, spent millions of my own dollars helping him get elected, and I think that's incredibly important. And I do support him and his administration, and I support them in delivering the campaign promises we made to the American people. His remarks, of course, have been hurtful. However, I have something in my heart that I think is incredibly important for our country, and that is to end the toxic fighting in politics. And this has been going on for years, and it has divided our country, split up friends and families, neighbors, and it's not solving our problems. The most hurtful thing he said, which is absolutely untrue, is he called me a traitor, and that is so extremely wrong. And those are the types of words used that can radicalize people against me and put my life in danger.
What do you think happened? What do you think is the...
Okay, I just have to know, okay? Let me know in the chat. I want to see it. Put, you're for Trump or you're for Marjorie Taylor Greene or she is a traitor. What's going on? Because I'm telling you, the thing that we've seen, is like, do you realize, guys, how much she was a proponent for Trump? And now, over the past month, since of the dang shutdown, she 100% went and just bashed every Republican in the entire Trump's agenda. So I want to know it. Put it in the chat. I want to check it out because I try to interact as much as possible with the chat.
Reason for this?
Unfortunately, it has all come down to the Epstein files, and that is shocking. And, you know, I stand with these women. I stand with rape victims. I stand with children who are in terrible sex abuse situations. And I stand with survivors of trafficking and those that are trapped in sex trafficking. And I will not apologize for that. I believe the country deserves transparency in these files. And I don't believe that rich, powerful people should be protected if they have done anything wrong. And so I'm standing with the women, and I will continue to do my small part to get the files released.
You said on X yesterday, quote, "It's astonishing really how hard he's fighting to stop the Epstein files from coming out, and that it really makes you wonder what is in those files." Are you suggesting there's something in?
So again, I just want to know where this all aligns, because I show you everything. Judge rejects Trump's administration's request to release Jeffrey Epstein grand jury documents. Who's telling the truth? This is from the same outlet. This is why I tell you guys, I try to bring every single context and receipt out here because I'm sick and tired of things being said once, but then whenever they try to do it, people don't remember. I'm bringing the receipts.
The Epstein files that President Trump does not want Americans to see?
Well, I think that's the part that has so many people confused, is that the women themselves that I have talked to have over and over again said that Donald Trump did nothing wrong. Quite a few of them even told me they voted for him. And those are the women I would like to see in the Oval Office with support. I would like to see all of the women there with support. I have no idea what's in the files. I can't even guess, but that is the questions everyone is asking, is why fight this so hard?
Well, before this blow-up, you sort of alluded to this just now. You said you were confident the president wouldn't be implicated. Are you still confident of that?
I'm listening to the women. Those are the ones that are saying that he did nothing wrong. Virginia Giuffre even said under oath that Donald Trump did nothing wrong, and she wrote it in her book. So I'm continuing to listen to the women, and I think their voices should be the loudest.
Okay, so on that, I do want to ask you about something you posted just yesterday on X. You questioned who and what country is putting so much pressure on Trump to keep the Epstein files hidden. And you included a picture about donations from pro-Israel lobbying group AIPAC. What are you trying to say there?
Well, I think it's the question that many Americans are asking, especially when we saw information recently come out in these emails that the Oversight Committee that I serve on has released. And we saw Jeffrey Epstein with ties to Ehud Barak. We saw him making business deals with them, also business deals that involved the Israeli government, and seems to have led into their intel agencies. And I think the right question is to ask is, was Jeffrey Epstein working for Israel? And I'm proud to say I don't take money from AIPAC. I don't take money from any special group of people. I'm just representing my district and the American people, and so that's what I was referring to.
Okay, everybody, this is what actually a letter was sent to her by the victims, releasing all the victims, saying, Marjorie Taylor Greene, thank you for standing up against the intimidation, silencing, and abuse that Epstein survivors had endured for decades. Let me tell you this. It's like you don't, I want to see people put in jail. I want to see people being held accountable. The problem is it's like, who's getting paid off, and am I saying Trump's getting paid off? No, he doesn't need to get paid off. But whatever the details are, stuff ain't coming out. And I think it needs to, because again, GOP is going to move forward past this Epstein, and it's going to be gone in the next news cycle. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support. Summerman, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said the amount of crap they put Trump through, how can we not trust him? Yeah, I know. And that's a really great point, Summerman, because remember, everybody and their mom tried to keep this dude from running. And now, if he could have, and if the Democrats did have anything on him with Epstein, they would have released it before the election so that people wouldn't have voted for him. That's why I don't believe Trump was in it.
Mike Johnson, welcome back to Fox News Sunday.
Glad to be back.
Okay, so a lot to unpack. The shutdown is over since the last time we talked, but now you have 9 appropriations bills that have to get through the House and the Senate to the president's desk by January 31st. On Friday, the Washington Examiner crunched the numbers. They said this: beginning Thursday, there are 57 weekdays until January 31st, but the House is only set to be in session for another 17 days, with the Senate in session for 20 days for the remainder of 2025. So in this environment, how in the world do you get 9 of the more complex bills done with 17 to 20 work days?
Well, the good news is our appropriators in the House and the Senate in bipartisan fashion have been working on appropriations bills, the whole year. So they're virtually done. There's a little disagreement between the Senate and House versions of some of the bills. The top line numbers are a little bit different. We got to resolve that. But we can certainly get that done in the amount of time that's still on the calendar. Just because we don't have legislative voting days, it doesn't mean Congress isn't working. There's this idea out there that Congress goes on vacation. Shannon, I haven't had a day off in 2 years. I mean, we work around the clock on these things. Our appropriators in particular have been working very hard, and they're ready to go. So I'm very optimistic we can get the rest of the appropriations bills done. And this is the key point. We are returning to regular order, the way this is supposed to work. Congress hasn't done this for many years. And I'm really proud of this achievement. Having gotten 3 bills signed into law on Wednesday night, 3 approach bills is a big achievement. I know that seems like a low bar, but we're getting Congress back to the way it's supposed to work so that we can be better stewards of the taxpayers' dollars.
So this idea of you haven't had a day off, but your critics are saying, well, the House hasn't been here. We hear paid vacation for 6, 7, 8 weeks, that members have not been here. And listen, I've heard from Republicans too, some of them frustrated that there wasn't work happening here on issues that could have been handled outside of the shutdown.
There are about 3 of them that were frustrated. 99.9% of House Republicans were united in that, and they will tell you, and they have said publicly and privately, they've had some of their best work of their careers during the shutdown because they were in their districts with their constituents, helping them navigate through the chaos of the shutdown that the Democrats created. Remember, the Democrats in Congress voted 16 times to keep the government closed, to bring on the longest shutdown in U.S. history, and to exact all this pain on the people. And for what? I mean, millions of American families went without food on their tables over this period. You had millions of Americans stuck in airports and stranded because their flights were canceled. You had troops wondering where their next paycheck was going to come from. And it was all for naught. They got nothing out of it.
One of the things I wanted to show you, go ahead, that they are working now, supporting to repeal Obamacare. So this is coming from Representative Andy Biggs, a Republican out of Arizona, who has officially filed the legislation, said time to repeal the Unaffordable Care Act. Again, guys, I'm telling you, lots of fraud everywhere. But when you look at them overhauling SNAP, making everybody reapply, there's 42 million. We just found out through 29 states that were red that there was 500,000 people double dipping and almost 200,000 that were dead that were still receiving it. Just imagine whenever we get all the rest of the blue states, because I promise you, they'll pass the law and say, if you want to receive federal benefits from this as a state, you have to let us audit and everybody has to reapply. It is coming, everybody. But this right here with Obamacare affecting health insurance, Medicare, Medicaid, if what we do in the next couple of years is just basically cut out all the bad systems and make everybody reapply, the amount of money that we're going to be saving is going to be astronomical. Robert Cash, thank you so much, brother, for the super chat. Said they should do the filibuster before the end of January. God bless America. God bless you all. Amen, brother. I agree. We need to create the laws in a way where they can't be hijacked by Democrats trying to create more slush funds. Queen Bee's Art Hive, let's go. Member for 2 months. Said fraud everywhere. Much love and many prayers, y'all. I love it. Show Queen Bee some love in the chat, everybody.
And I think that's why you see the backlash against the Democrat leadership, because we tried to talk them out of that and we couldn't.
Well, speaking of the appropriators, let's talk about one of them, House Democrat Rosa DeLauro. She's the ranking member of House Appropriations. Here's how she describes the situation. She says, President Trump and Russ Vought's illegal stealing of funds from American communities has made it difficult to reach any appropriations agreement. Those challenges are compounded by Senate Republicans' decision to secretly insert language into the legislative branch bill that would aid what she calls January 6th insurrectionists. We'll get to that separately, but it does not sound like she's going to be an easy sell on the remaining 9 bills.
It doesn't sound like she'll be an easy sell, but we're going to have to get together in bipartisan fashion and do it. I understand that Democrats are very upset that the White House and this administration have used their rescission power. That's a power that every president has. It's part of the system. And they have a fiscal responsibility, a stewardship obligation to do that. If you see that funds are being misused or being wasted with fraud, waste, abuse, then the administration is supposed to take action and request of Congress to claw back the funding, because that's not what Congress should ever intend. And that's what we've done here, and Republicans do it better than Democrats, and that's why some of them are upset about it.
Okay, so let's talk about that reference she made to January 6th insurrectionists. It sounds like the reference is to a number of senators. There was this portion tucked into their package that they passed that would allow $500,000 payment if a senator finds that federal law enforcement has gotten their electronic data and didn't notify them. I know you had a conversation with Majority Leader Thune about that. How did that go, and what action is the House taking to potentially override that?
Well, as you know, we were surprised by that provision being dropped into the clean CR at the last moment. I was kind of frustrated by it. I said that publicly. But I have since talked to Leader Thune and the senators who were involved in that, and their motivation was pure. What they were trying to do is put teeth into the provision of law that prevents these abuses, like Jack Smith and these rogue prosecutors who weaponize the DOJ to go after political enemies. That's what they did here. There ought to be a penalty for that so that we can deter further action like that in the future.
All right,
That's what they were after. But the optics of it weren't great, because it looked like retroactivity and they'd be able to pay themselves for something they endured. Many of them had to come out of pocket for attorney's fees and stuff to defend themselves. But look, I think we need to adjust the dates on it so that the optics are better. But I think getting teeth to that provision is an important thing that we all ought to be in favor of.
That makes more sense. But I wanted to show you this, guys, because I am telling you, I love doing this because I believe we show you things that you normally never see on mainstream media, but it is so real. So we showed you what they did on allowing, this is what happened in the invasion, right? Do you remember whenever Biden was selling off pieces of the border wall, $5 a piece, okay? $5 a dang piece. This is, to me, criminal. You know why? Because I went through Grok and I asked, and I said, how much would these pieces of the border wall, starting at $5, how much would these pieces have cost brand new? It goes through all of its things, and it said the individual raw steel ball ends were estimated at $9,000 each by steel suppliers. Like, are you kidding me? Easily $10,000 plus per panel at government contract rates. So when Biden was trying to sell it for $5 a piece, we paid pretty much $10,000 per piece. Do you see the $38 trillion adding up? This is the waste of the federal government. This is why I hate taxes and them increasing taxes, because they are so wasteful with our hard-earned money when we go out and we bust our butt to make this money, and then they come in, they take it, and then they go and do stupid stuff like this. And I show you the receipts, guys, that our stupid president, who wasn't even a president, was selling, his administration was selling $5 a piece panels that normally would cost $10,000 a piece through a government contract. Now you tell me what's criminal and what needs to be held accountable, because I'm sick and tired that I'm showing you what the heck is really going on.
A House measure that would just change the dates but allow that potential penalty to stand, or get rid of it altogether?
We probably will repeal that provision. That bill's already been filed. I had to commit to my members that we would do that. We were all surprised by it. But I've talked to the senators about something that's more meaningful and reasonable, and I think we can all get together on the same page.
Okay, so the Senate has promised to vote on extending the Obamacare subsidies. That was the main problem with most Democrats and why they didn't want to move forward with reopening the government. GOP Congressman Jeff Van Andrew, though, over on the House side, he told NBC News this: not only is it morally bankrupt, it's political suicide for Republicans to let the subsidies expire without an alternative in place. Any scenario in which you put these subsidies, an extension of them, to a vote before they expire on the House side just before December 31st?
Well, quickly, I would just say to my good dear friend Jeff and Drew, the moral bankruptcy was the Democrats who wrecked American health care. Remember, in 2010, they created the Unaffordable Care Act. It did exactly the opposite of what they promised. Premiums have risen dramatically since that time, and they're continuing to go up. Part of the reason for that is that instead of fixing the problem, the Democrats just want to subsidize the broken system. They want to spend taxpayer dollars and dump it onto the broken system. What would be morally correct is for us to fix that. And so Republicans have been working on this, and we have many ideas and proposals that go to the root causes of the dramatic rise in health care.
When will we hear those, though? Do we get those before these new premium increases kick in for Americans across the country?
Yes, well, many of these you've heard before, and we've done it. Just this year, July 4th, in the Working Families Tax Cut, the big, beautiful bill, the president signed into law some real innovations. We saved the American taxpayers $185 billion, according to CBO, by some of the changes there. We brought premiums down. But this is what's interesting. We had another provision in that, in the House version of the Working Families Tax Cut that went to the Senate, that would have brought premiums down on average 12.7% across the country. Senate Democrats fought to take that out of the bill, so it didn't make it to the president's desk. We have more ideas like that. There's a lot of ideas that can bring down the cost of health care, increase quality, increase access to care, and you'll be seeing that rolled out in the next couple of weeks. Remember, we were always planning to do this in October, November, December.
Let's go.
Ironically, it's the Democrats who took all that time off the clock by...
Let me tell you this, everybody. This is probably one of the greatest charts I've ever shown you. Inflation Chart for Dummies 2025 edition. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button and show our boy Jim Barbato some love in the chat with the popcorn. I love it. OG of the channel. Show Jim some love in the chat, everybody. During Trump's first term, 1.9% inflation. Biden gets in, and what does he do? After the COVID pandemic was like being done with, goes and spends all the money in the dang world, adds and gets us to average 5% inflation. Trump's averaging 2.7% right now. This, again, the numbers don't lie. Did Biden and his administration have to do it? No. But right here, even on CNN, when it comes to all of the orders of what happened behind the scenes and how people hijacked the presidency, they're saying the quiet part out loud. Here, listen to this.
Scott, I trace it further back than that. I trace it back to 10 years ago when you said Donald Trump was an authoritarian. And you know what, Scott, I've got to hand it to you. That was a remarkable forecast because 10 years later, I think you called it. Here's Donald Trump today, the man with the heart and soul of a fascist, showing us he now has the bona fides. By tonight, ordering investigations into American citizens. That's why members of his party, that's why members of his
upset he's running the executive branch? Why are you so upset he's running the executive branch?
For the same reasons you predicted he shouldn't. For the same reasons, Scott, you said he violated his oath and he should never be back in that office.
I happily voted
That's
for
why
him.
I'm upset for the man being in the Oval Office.
I happily voted for him 3 times.
I know that.
The alternative was terrible.
And a lot of your friends were shocked.
Yeah, well, a lot of my friends would have been shocked at you trying to subvert the elected president of the United States, which you did.
Well, I proudly did. I proudly
some
said
mid-level
to the
staffer
country
substituting his
who
judgment
this
for the
man
elected
was.
president of the United States.
Well,
Good
Scott,
luck,
I would have
brother.
loved to have seen you stand up.
Do you see this? This guy worked for President Trump, and he subverted Trump's authority. And a lot of people want to say, like, Trump's first term to me was a joke because he fought everybody. 2 impeachments. They lied on him the entire time. Russiagate, all a lie. Everything that Trump had to do, he was fighting uphill, and it was because of people like him. They were supposed to be working for him, not working against him. PDX67, Richard, thank you so much, brother, for the super chat. Let's go. He said, border wall sale is an outrage. Amen. When you see the receipts, guys, it is insane. Show Richard some love in the chat, everybody. And I want you to hear this too, guys, because I'm telling you, the more that we are cracking down across the board, I promise you, we are just nailing every single facet of slush money for the dark money that is out there. Listen to this.
For 2 days, tell us what you accomplished.
Hey, Maria, it's great to be with you. And look, we set this in motion, we, under President Trump's leadership and strong leadership and engaging in President Xi Jinping on the fentanyl crisis. Let's just put this in perspective. The prior administration, the Biden administration, allowed hundreds and hundreds of thousands of Americans to be killed by opioids alone. That is a national security crisis of epic proportions that was left undressed. President Trump comes in, engages his counterpart, President Xi Jinping, and says, we got to address this. Puts Attorney General Pam Bondi in the DOJ in motion, sets up engagements over the last 8 to 9 months, and designates the FBI director to go there and make sure this deal is solidified. And that is the reason that I, as the first director in 10 years, landed in Beijing, China. This opioid crisis is going to be turned off. Americans are no longer going to lose their life to manufactured synthesis opioids like fentanyl.
Well, I mean, look, you knew the China threat very early on, way before you were the director of the FBI. Where else is China interfering? What do we need to understand best about our #1 adversary?
Well, look, we can talk about the espionage and other activities, but we have taken a huge step here. No one has bothered to engage China. The Biden administration didn't even do it. And fentanyl, for those, it's not like cocaine or marijuana where it starts naturally in a grow house or a grow facility or grow yards and then is produced into an ultimate chemical and drug. Fentanyl is purely chemically created. And if you take the ingredients, these precursors that we're talking about, these chemicals that we're talking about, and you shut off their flow, then the Mexican drug cartels cannot make it. It's that simple. And Biden could have listed 1 or 2 or 3 of the precursors. 0. Trump got it done, listing all 13 precursors and restricting all 7 chemicals, essentially shutting off the pipeline that allows the Mexican drug traffickers to create fentanyl. And we went there and we got the agreement solidified, and it's already in place. And we're going to see immediate results and immediate American lives saved by the hundreds of thousands, thanks to President Trump's brilliant leadership and Attorney General Bondi's care and commitment to this issue.
So you believe that the Chinese will keep their commitment here, and you think we will see an immediate impact then?
I do. We've already seen an immediate impact. And look, Maria, I don't think anyone has covered China better than you have. And I understand the skepticism. But I do also believe in President Trump's leadership to say, look, we have to engage with them and come to agreements where we can with them, especially if it saves American lives. Why wouldn't we? We're not going to get to 100% on 100%. But if we can save tens of thousands of American lives, then it was worth it. And I think we're already seeing those results. And at least on the fentanyl front, they have committed to this. They've kept their word on this. And we are saving American lives because of this once-in-a-lifetime historic engagement by President Trump with the Chinese.
Very, very important, meaning that you had. Thank you. We'll be watching that. I want to move on to a few other issues before you.
And again, I want to show you what they're saying about this guy, and it's so bad, everybody. Like, they will say anything and they will lie to try to demean and discredit people like Kash Patel who are trying to save American lives. Daily Mail literally said Kash Patel hired Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino with no background check and extraordinary vetting breach. Can you believe that they print this garbage? And this is us exposing the left, guys. Because I'm telling you, if I saw Fox News print something stupid like this, I would show it to you as well. I don't care. To me, I care that we do the right thing, we say the truth, and America's put first. And if it steps on our toes, it steps on our toes. But if not, we just want to hold people accountable. But are you serious? And again, what you're about to hear next, this is so awesome what's going on. Show our boy Jim Barbato some love in the chat, everybody. Thank you so much for your support. Let's go.
And of course, we always talk about the last 10 years of conspiracy against President Trump, and it started with the Russia collusion, on to the indictments and the impeachments, and of course, January 6th. Do you have any news for us on January 6th and your investigation?
I think you'll see something on that front very soon. As you know, we can't reveal our ongoing investigations. And as it goes for things like Russiagate, Maria, again, maybe no one better than you has covered it. And look, I lived it. I was weaponized as a victim against a weaponization, politicization of law enforcement, including at the FBI, by former senior leadership there. And I was the one that ran and uncovered the Russiagate hoax and conspiracy back on my House Intel days. I can't talk about ongoing investigations, but I think you've seen reporting in the media and reflections as to what's going on. We will not allow anyone who participated in the Russiagate conspiracy or those who improperly and illegally, in my opinion, spied on me, members of Congress, and even members of the media for a political end state to be left unturned. These are investigations that are of important consequence to the American public. Deputy Director Bongino and I have lived through it with you and everyone else. And we don't ask you to trust us, but look at the work we've put in under President Trump's leadership. We are going after every single person, from drug traffickers to those who create precursors to those, most importantly, who weaponize our system of law enforcement. You've already seen indictments of people like former Director James Comey and others, and we're not done.
Well, by the way, Comey is asking for all of the charges to be dropped right now, as you know. So the audience wants to know if we're ever going to see accountability, Director. And I know that there's a limited amount you can say about this with regard to what happens next. There was a criminal referral for John Brennan. Do you believe we will see accountability?
Right here, y'all.
Yes, 100%. We are delivering this accountability. But I'd just like to remind the audience, and I think you know this better than anyone, they built this weaponization scheme over the course of a decade plus. In these first 8 months that we've been there, we've already charged individuals, thanks to this great Department of Justice, who are at the pinnacle of this weaponization of government. We've already turned over, by the way, Maria. James Comey turned over 3,000 documents to Congress for oversight. Christopher Wray turned over 13,000. This FBI, under our leadership, has turned over 38,000 pages of information to Congress for congressional oversight purposes, which is wed to accountability, which is wed to the referrals that they send us back that we activate at the FBI. Every single letter they send us that has a substantive referral is opened by this FBI.
Director, just to clarify, how many Americans were arrested regarding January 6th? I know many people spent jail time as a result of January 6th, and you've been doing a deep dive investigation into this. There's a lot of speculation online. We want to know who planted the pipe bomb. Is there anything you can tell us there? And how many people were arrested on January 6th?
Too many. Far too many, far too baselessly, as a result of a weaponization of justice and a politicization of targeting President Trump's supporters. It was unlawful and improper, and we've been working like we have with the Deputy Director to unearth that. And as it relates to major investigations of public importance like the pipe bomber, again, I say, stay tuned. We reviewed every single investigation of public consequence, reopened them, reevaluated them, because we feel it cannot go untouched. We are not going to let these things lay by and allow the fake news media to run roughshod over us. Our indictments speak powerfully in court. If you don't believe us, just look at the response that the Eastern District of Virginia under Lindsey Halligan did to James Comey, and look at the notes and publication of evidence. That's the type of material we have, but we have to safeguard our prosecutions, because the ultimate accountability is with the verdict in a jury room.
I'm telling you, everybody, this is what they're trying to stop. This is all this stuff that we're seeing. Again, there was a coordinated effort, everybody, that was unveiled by Judicial Watch. NGOs, attorney generals, literally targeting Trump in efforts to remove Trump from the ballots and literally go after him in every single way possible to push indictments against him and Trump's electors. Like, and attorneys, are you kidding me? If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, guys, thank you so much for your support. Summerman, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said Romans 8:28, and we know that those who love God, all things work together for good for those who are called according to his purpose. Amen. I love it. Guys, I'm telling you, again, what I love is that the people and the stuff that we're showing you, it's just putting us one step closer to doing what? Holding people accountable, because again, there's stuff that's happening within the government, but then there's stuff that's happening outside of the government, like Mike Davis and his team, Judicial Watch, that are going after these people and expediting the process. Listen to this.
The president of the Article 3 project, Mike Davis. Mike, good to see you. We went through a lot of different issues with Kash Patel, and of course, nobody knows these stories better than you, having worked so deeply and involved in Chuck Grassley's office for so many years and beyond. What is your reaction to what we heard from the director?
Kash Patel is a friend of mine, and he is a bold and fearless warrior for the Constitution. So is Dan Bongino, his deputy. President Trump has an all-star team in the Justice Department led by Attorney General Pam Bondi, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, Cash and Dan, Harmeet Dillon, Judge Janine Pirro, Lindsay Halligan, Alina Habba, so many bold and fearless warriors in the Justice Department. They had to break a lot of China in the Justice Department during the transition to get rid of all the deep state actors. And now they are going into the accountability phase, and this is crucially important. You're seeing a grand jury that's been opened down in the Southern District of Florida that's going to get impaneled in January, and in Fort Pierce. That's been opened by the courts. It's a public document. My friend Jason Redding Quinones is the U.S. attorney in Miami who motioned the court to open that. I have very publicly called for Fort Pierce to be the grand jury that investigates this unprecedented Republican-ending lawfare by these Democrats with Crossfire Hurricane and continued with Arctic frost. So I would say to these lawfare Democrats, justice is coming, lawyer up, nobody is above the law.
Let's go.
So you do think justice is coming. This has been a long time coming, Mike, and we've seen investigation and smears after smears on President Trump for a 10-year period. Walk us through what you believe took place here in the last 10 years.
I think that Hillary Clinton had an illegal home server as the Secretary of State, not only with our nation's most classified secrets, which is espionage, but also potentially her foreign bribery schemes, where these shady foreign actors are giving millions of dollars to the Clinton Foundation. What was Hillary Clinton doing in exchange for those millions of dollars? She got caught with her illegal home server. She took bleach bit to the server. She took hammers to the phone. She thought she destroyed the evidence. But maybe, just maybe, our worst adversaries like Russia and China hacked her server. So I think that's why the Hillary campaign made up the Russian collusion hoax with their law firm Perkins Coie. They lied to the FISA court. They got illegal spy warrants on presidential candidates. Donald Trump, they continued to spy on him. And the reason they did this is when Hillary got caught, she wanted to say, you can't believe this. This is a campaign dirty trick by the Trump campaign. They're colluding with the Russians. And you say, well, that sounds crazy. How could you think that? They did the same thing in 2020 with Hunter Biden's laptop of corruption. They had the...
Let me tell you this. If this right here, everybody, this news article, because it's under investigation right now, if this isn't the exposure of every single dang deep state, how in the world, like Clinton corruption files, Bondi Patel unleashed new evidence about former First Family Foundation. People have been getting paid off for a long time, everybody. People have been stealing from the American people for a long time, and we are exposing it all, and especially because whenever it comes to the elitists, the two-tier justice system, and now that we're fighting against this new, just so much fraud within our own benefits system because of the invasion that happened, that it has been confirmed that everybody on SNAP will now be forced to reapply to the program after the massive fraud was revealed, and this is only the beginning. Next is what? Medicaid. What's next? Medicare. Time and time again, we're going to unveil the fraud, the waste, and abuse, and give the money back to the American people, putting them first. If you love this, guys, hit the thumbs up like button. And if you're watching and not part of the family yet, please consider joining our family, hitting that subscribe button so we can take care of you every day with the breaking news. Chris Prez with the gifted 10 TrueLife News memberships. I love it. Guys, if you got a free membership from our boy Chris, show him some love in the chat. This is huge. Guys, what a blessing. Thank you so much, brother, for your support. Show Chris some love in the chat. Wow, such a blessing. And I'm telling you guys, this overhaul is going to change everything. And remember that all this stuff that's happened, the only reason, and this is why I'm such a huge proponent of this right here, is that when it comes to what's happened, especially with Medicare, $14.6 billion in false claims, Pakistani executives stealing doctors, nurses, pharmacists, all across the board stealing from Medicare, $14.6 billion, which they unveiled here. Look at this.
Today, charges against 324 defendants for their alleged participation in healthcare fraud schemes involving approximately $14.6 billion in false claims submitted to Medicare, Medicaid.
I'm telling you, everybody, that's why we partnered with Chapter. It's free. They compare every single Medicare plan out there, the 5,600 plans out there that we've shown you, all for free. And people have been blessed, especially, like, guys, I'm telling you, when somebody gets additional benefits to help out with their needs, they really need it, over $1,000 a year. Are you kidding me? Why not? Number is 667-895-3015. Tell them that Joel sent you from TrueLife News. They're going to get you taken care of. Again, some of the biggest wins ever, $230 a month in savings just by calling Chapter. And again, it's free. But go ahead, everybody. I want you to show some love to all those that have given today. Show some love to our boy Richard with the gifted memberships today. Thank you so much, Richard. His tag name is PDX67R. Show our boy Chris Prez with the 15 gifted True Life News memberships. OG of the channel. Thank you so much, brother, for your support. You are awesome. Our boy Jim Barbato, OG of the channel. Show some much love to Jim. Lori Rapier, OG, thank you so much, Lori, for your support. You're so awesome. Thomas Brewer with the gifted super chat. I love it. Show Thomas and OG of the channel as well some love in the chat. Thomas Brewer, Sweetie Pie, Summerman, Robert Cash, Queen Bee's Art Hive. Thank you so much. Camp Goer 1 said we need to see people jailed. Congress should profit with insider trading while Americans are suffering. God bless President Trump. Amen. Show Camp Goer 1 some love in the chat. Summerman, everybody, show him some love in the chat. Thank you so much for liking our videos, sharing our videos on X, on Facebook. It means the world to us. We're here to serve you and bring you the breaking news and bust our butt every day to make sure you're taken care of. We love you and appreciate you. We'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.